everyone, kia ora, konnichiwa, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I've been focusing on my studies a lot, heading to school, working through the Minute no Nihongo textbook, having lunch with classmates, and doing some shopping, and of course, even more study. School takes most of my afternoons, but routine is actually what keeps me grounded here in Japan. So let's get into my normal day of life. And if you're new here, my name's Pennie. I'm originally from New Zealand, and right now I'm living in Japan as a 50-something-year-old student, studying Japanese full-time. On this channel, I share my journey of learning the language, adapting to life in Japan, and all the ups and downs that come with it. If you're interested, please hit that subscribe button so you can join the family. Last week I changed classes, so we're having a goodbye lunch with my old class. A few weeks ago, I was introduced to this restaurant by a couple of Japanese friends of mine, and I wanted to share the experience with my classmates. It's a shabu shabu restaurant. If you've never been to a shabu shabu restaurant before, it's a Japanese hot pot dish where you can cook thin slices of meat and fresh vegetables at the table yourself. Now, one of the classmates, he chose the shabu shabu option, and the waitress is explaining the steps of what he's meant to do. Shabu shabu is the sound of swishing the meat in the hot broth. That's actually where the name comes from. I ordered a set meal with the meat, onions on noodles. It came with rice, but I gave my rice and my fish starter to somebody else to eat. It also came with a raw egg, and what you do is you mix the egg up and you take the meat and you dip it into the egg and then you eat it. It was very, very delicious. My meal cost 2,200 yen. So on the way home, I spotted something a little unusual. This big truck driving through Nagoya with an advertisement for a brand new concept cafe. Japan's full of themed cafes, from cat cafes to maid cafes, but this one really caught my attention. That's one of the marketing styles you'll see a lot here. Companies will drive these billboard-style trucks around the city to create a buzz and curiosity. So concept cafes in Japan are often more about the experience than the food. You might go to a place where you're served by staff in costumes, or where the whole cafe is designed around an anime, a game, or even a certain mood. They're creative, fun, and a big part of Japanese culture. This one looked new and different, and I thought that's why I love living here. Even on an ordinary walk home from school, I stumble across something surprising and unique. My school days usually start with a short walk to the station. It's nothing too far, just enough to kind of wake me up and get me moving. And from here, I hop on the train, and it's literally one stop. I know, it almost feels too short to count as a commute, but it does make life easier. If I walk, it's about a 30-minute walk from my apartment to school. And at the moment, since it's so humid and hot, it's a little bit unbearable to walk. I do like to walk home, mind you. So once I get to Nagoya station, I usually treat myself to a coffee before heading to class. Sometimes I go to Starbucks, and other days I'll go to a local coffee shop, Canon Coffee, which has a bit more of a cosy, independent vibe. It does become a little ritual for me. Coffee in hand, books in my bag, getting ready to face a few hours of intense Japanese study. The one near me is always buzzing in the morning. The food cabinet is packed with food, and honestly, it always looks so tempting. Hotto, cappuccino,
はい。
hitotsu kudasai. Grande.
グランデサイズ。
Take out.
テイクアウトでかしこまりました。グランデサイズホットカプチーノですね。スターバックスカードで頂戴します。グランデカプチーノですね。はい。ありがとうございます。
I do feel that my Japanese is getting better. I think sometimes when I'm on the spot, it's very hard to remember what to say, but if I kind of think about it beforehand and then get myself prepared, I can say it. But yeah, I think it's a lot more practice that I need. All right, so we've made it to school. Classes run from 2 p.m. to 5:45, Monday to Friday. It doesn't sound like a long day, but the pace is fast and the content is intense. We're expected to self-study for another 4 hours a day. So the classes are in the afternoon and they swap every 6 weeks. In October, I'll be changing to the morning class, all going well. That's if I pass the test. If I don't pass the test, then I'm not sure what will happen there. But that's another story. We don't need to worry about that at the moment. I'm focusing on my test. So we're working with the Mina no Nihongo Book 1, which is a full immersion textbook. Everything is in Japanese and it's tough at first, but it really focuses you to think in Japanese. Right now, we're up to chapter 12, where we're learning how to express preferences and make comparisons and give reasons. For example, dochira oki desu ka, which is bigger. Watashi wa ramen no ho ga sushi yori suki desu. I like ramen more than sushi. Next week, we've got the big test covering chapters 10 to 14, plus chapter 7. Chapter 7 was all about giving and receiving. For example, watashi wa tomodachi ni hon o agimashita. I gave my friend a book. Watashi wa musume kara presento o moraimashita. I received a present from my daughter. It sounds simple, but the grammar and particles make it tricky. You really have to train your brain to follow Japanese logic and not English. We're moving at 2 to 3 chapters per week, so it's easy to fall behind if you don't keep up. That's why self-study is so important. The school expects it. Tests here aren't just memorization. They really want you to use the grammar in conversation. That's scary sometimes, but when it clicks, it's worth it. And I'm not doing it alone. The atmosphere in the class is encouraging. Everyone's from different countries and backgrounds, all struggling with the same grammar points. We laugh a lot, usually at our mistakes, but those mistakes is how we learn. My walk home takes around half an hour, and I've grown to enjoy it. Sometimes I review vocabulary in my head, and other times I let my brain rest. It's a reminder why I'm here. The pace is demanding, the test is stressful, but every day I feel myself getting a little better. At my age, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress. Today I'm stopping at a cafe to do a little bit of study. I enjoy studying in cafes because it's a change of scenery and it just makes me focus more on what I'm meant to be doing. And I found a cafe which has really, really lovely coffee and really nice food. So let's go in, have some coffee and something to eat and do a bit of study together. Hi. My homework usually takes between 1 to 2 hours to complete. And each day I try and look at my vocabulary as well. I do have a couple of apps that I use that have been suggested by my subscribers. So thank you so much for giving me some support and also advice on how to study and trying to remember all the vocabulary, because it is quite a lot to learn in such a short space of time. So it's really going through and repeating all the time. On the way home, I stopped into Family Mart to grab a drink and some milk. I actually have quite a few different convenies near me. There's a 7-Eleven, a Lawson's, and this Family Mart. I end up going to them all during the week because my supermarket isn't very close, so the convenience stores fill the gaps. Honestly, they're a lifesaver. You can pretty much get anything, drinks, snacks, ready-to-eat meals, household bits, and even you can pay your bills there. I do try and mix it up a little. I don't always want the staff to notice I'm there every single day. Do you ever do that? Switch between shops so it doesn't feel like you're relying on the same one all the time? It makes me laugh, but it's become part of my routine here in Japan.
No, no袋?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 大丈夫です。
大丈夫です。はい。429円です。
ペイペイお願いします。
ペイペイですね。はい。ありがとうございます。お待たせしました。ありがとうございます。レシートでございます。ありがとうございます。ございました。どうぞ。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。今日ご利用ですか
So that's my daily routine of a 50-plus Japanese language student here in Nagoya. Coffee, class, lunch with friends, surprises on the street, shopping, and a lot of study. It's demanding, but it's worth it. I came here for a challenge, and even on the tough days, I know I've made the right choice. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what's your routine when you're learning something new. I'd love to hear your tips. And until next time, see ya!